From the Watergate building in Washington, this is Hotline TV. Now here are Hotline editors Amy Walter and John Mercurio.
Welcome to Hotline TV, everybody. I'm John Mercurio.
And I'm Amy Walter. Al Gore is back in the presidential mix today after winning the Nobel Peace Prize last night. He shares the honor with the UN panel on climate change. John is running for president now beneath the Nobel laureate.
Let's get the whole presidential thing off the table. This is someone who has been through more presidential campaigns than anybody out on the playing field right now. 88, 92, 96, and 2000. He's done. He's not running. He, I think, knows. I think he's given this answer that it's not my intention. I think if you honestly asked him, a lot of people think he'd say yes. I mean, if you honestly asked him what he thinks, people think he'd say yes. I think he'd say hell no, but he's trying to at least be sort of
he'd be nicer
diplomatic.
Than that,
I think what we're really talking about is the added weight that this Nobel Peace Prize and the other sort of honors that he's received over the past year or two will give to the endorsement that he ultimately will, now it looks like, make in the Democratic primary.
Exactly.
He, endorsed Howard Dean in 2003. That was probably the beginning of the end of Howard Dean's campaign. It's an entirely different story for 2008. So Barack Obama and John Edwards, I think you're going to see behind the scenes heavily courting him to endorse, and not just to endorse, but to kind of slap Hillary Clinton, because that's what he'll need in order for it to have an impact.
That's what it needs to have an impact, and how he does that and what he says is going to be the much more important thing. Right now, just coming out, endorsing, even if he comes out and endorses one of these candidates, says, remember, I was the guy who was against the war before anybody else, that's fine, but that just sort of goes with the message that both of them are trying to promote, that they either apologized or had not supported the war in the first place.
Right.
But that's not enough,
right?
Really. It's really not enough. And the Nobel laureate, does it give more weight to his endorsement? Like, are environmentalists now suddenly going to run over to whoever he endorses? I doubt it, sincerely. It's really going to be, is he going to use this opportunity to say, P.S., I worked with the Clintons.
I know the Clintons.
And you don't want to vote for him. If he does that, then yes, that will be a big deal.
Right.
Until then, I just don't see it.
But look, he's got an added problem. I think. Look, she's running away with the nomination. If this question had come up, 3 or 4 months ago, then this would be an open question. Fine. It would be presumed that he would endorse either Edwards or Obama. But with Hillary now 20 points, 25 points up in national polls, inching ahead in Iowa, way ahead in New Hampshire, ahead in South Carolina and Florida, it's a harder nut to crack as to whether or not he actually.
Right, because what if he does it and then it goes nowhere?
It doesn't mean anything.
Right, and then that's number
Dean,
2.
And that was the end. That was the end of his campaign.
Agreed.
2004. So I think it's a harder thing for him to look at. Although, look, I think he's probably uniquely qualified right now in the Democratic primary, because Bill Clinton's obviously off the field in this in this game. He's uniquely qualified to actually change the game. Although he can be a game changer, and he can sort of anoint the anybody but Hillary candidate.
Except
whether that actually leads to
that, right? Because at this point, Al Gore voters are not anti-Hillary voters. I mean, what we've seen is they're parking there either because they like him or they feel like they know him better. But when you take him out of the mix, they go to Hillary before they go to the other candidates. More go to Hillary than go to the other candidates. So I think that's one of it. The second piece, which of course now I totally forgot, is about the war, right? So what's funny is the guy who originally you'd think he'd be the one giving his endorsement based on the war, right? Mm-hmm. Because he did come out for it before anybody else, and that was obviously an issue with Howard Dean, is now known as the global warming guy more than anything else. Mm-hmm. So has he lost that sort of edge on the war that now people see him more as Al Gore global
I think he'd be able to shift the debate back to the war if he were to do anything like that. But unfortunately,
that's all we can talk about today.
That's all the time we have.
Oh, excuse me.
For today. Where's our teleprompter?
I know. Just kidding. Just kidding, Nora. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week right here on Hotline TV.
We crack ourselves up.